Before we begin, I need to warn you. There's a place where time doesn't behave, a place where footsteps echo long after the living have gone home, and where the dead don't always stay quiet. It's not an abandoned hospital, it's not a forgotten prison, it's a ship, a legendary ocean liner turned floating hotel in Long Beach, one that millions visit and thousands refuse to stay on ever again. Hello, kindred spirits. Tonight we step onto the RMS Queen Mary, a vessel so haunted some investigators won't board her after sunset. Hey there, I'm May, and welcome back to the Dark Folio. Think of this as your creepy little coffee break. We're talking folklore, hauntings, true crime, all the delicious dark stories that make you lean in and listen a little closer. 15 minutes, give or take, of the strange, the unexplained, and the absolutely fascinating. So grab your favorite mug, get comfortable, and let's dive into the darkness together. Let's go meet those ghosts that never checked out. History explains the hauntings, and the Queen Mary has lived through everything. She was built during the Great Depression. Thousands of workers in Clydebank, Scotland, depending on her for hope. And when she launched in 1934, over 200,000 people lined the riverbanks. She was named in honor of Queen Mary, and this was the first time that a British monarch's name was ever given to a merchant ship. Her christening was a massive event, even though the Queen herself didn't attend the launch. Her maiden voyage followed in May of 1936, and she instantly redefined luxury at sea. Ballrooms, opulent suites, fine dining. It was an Art Deco palace on the water. But her life wasn't all glamour. When World War II erupted, the Queen Mary was gutted. Chandeliers out, bunks in, and she was painted battleship gray. Soldiers called her the Gray Ghost because of her incredible speed. She was fast enough to outrun enemy submarines and torpedoes, and she did. She was carrying up to 15,000 troops at once. And there are credible rumors that say Adolf Hitler put a bounty on her sinking. While no official documents confirmed the exact amount, I did find numbers of $250,000, so give or take, but the Queen Mary was absolutely considered a prime wartime target. But she wasn't untouchable. In 1942, she sliced through the HMS Curacoa, accidentally killing more than 300 men. She was under orders not to stop for any survivors, and that tragedy follows her to this day. After the war, she returned to civilian cruising, carrying royalty, world leaders, and Hollywood elites. She tried to return to glamour, but air travel killed the ocean liner era. And by 1967, her final stop, she retired to Long Beach, California, and that's where the hauntings really took hold. The Queen Mary settled into quiet waters, but the ship herself didn't grow quiet. Workers converting her into a hotel immediately sensed something different, something off. Deck B is infamous, whispers drifting through empty hallways, footsteps pacing when no one is there, unseen shapes passing just out of sight. But the engine room, that's where the energy turns heavy. One tragedy stands out. July 10th, 1966. 18-year-old John Petter, an apprentice engineer, was crushed by watertight door 13 during a safety drill. Crew still refused to linger there after dark. People report seeing a young man in dark coveralls, sometimes walking, sometimes standing absolutely still, before vanishing near that very door. Then there's room B340, arguably the most infamous stateroom on the entire ship. It's been said that the room was closed to guests for roughly 30 years due to intense paranormal activity. While the popular story of a murder in B340 has never been proven in ship logs, something is definitely wrong with that room. Guests report faucets turning on by themselves, blankets pulled off in the night, lights flickering, and unseen hands brushing their skin. When the hotel finally reopened room B340 in 2018, they really leaned into it. They outfitted the room with a Ouija board, crystal ball, tarot cards, the whole spooky starter kit. So good luck to anyone sleeping in there. Ask anyone who's worked night shift on the Queen Mary, and you will hear the same thing. You're never really quite alone. The security guards tell the scariest stories, and these are people who don't scare easily. One guard was doing a routine patrol when he heard someone sprinting towards him, running footsteps, fast, closing in. He turned around, empty hallway, and it was dead silent. Another staffer said they saw a woman in a vintage swimsuit in one of the first-class changing rooms, standing with her back turned, and they said, "Ma'am, this area is closed." And she slowly turned and then dissolved into thin air. Paranormal investigators have swarmed the ship for decades. You can almost guarantee that every paranormal TV show has investigated the Queen Mary. Thermal cameras detect unexplainable cold spots, and investigators get wild EVPs. EVPs are electronic voice phenomena, if you're not familiar with the term. And those are sounds or noises or voices that come through an electronic digital voice recorder. These are sounds that come through when no one else is in the room with them, or the room is completely empty and the recorder has been set up by itself. Voices that say, "Help me," or "Don't go in there." And the one that makes people quit investigating entirely, a deep male voice saying, "Behind you." One officer swears that they saw a little girl running down a hallway, only to discover there were no registered children aboard that night. Imagination? Maybe. But on the Queen Mary, imagination has a funny way of answering back. Hey, my kindred spirits, before we go deeper into the ship's mysteries, if you're enjoying this voyage, please follow or subscribe. It keeps the show growing, and it tells the spirits that you're listening. And be sure to check out our Facebook page. That's where I will give episode updates and maybe some little fun things along the way. And remember that every follow helps us keep hunting the truth. Some of the Queen Mary's hauntings are iconic. Take the first-class pool. Visitors and staff report the ghost of a young girl named Jackie, heard calling for her mother or splashing in the drain pool. But here's the twist. The official records show no drowning in the pool. The only documented death of a young girl aboard the ship was in 1949, and her death did not occur in the water. So who's Jackie? A misremembered spirit? A child lost to time? Or something the ship doesn't want to explain? Still, wet footprints show up on dry tile. People feel a small hand slip into theirs before vanishing. People feel their clothing tugged. Temperature drops hit like a wall. Even the first-class staterooms aren't safe. Blankets pulled away, icy pockets of air, and shadowy figures hovering at the foot of the beds. Tour guides hear giggling when the room is locked. And there are other ghosts that wander too. A woman in a flowing white gown drifting across the Queen's salon. A tall shadow figure on the M deck, never moving while you watch, but gone when you blink. And guests waking up with scratches, thin, red, unexplainable. The Queen Mary isn't just haunted in one spot. She's haunted from bow to stern. The Queen Mary doesn't need your belief. She only needs your attention. The Queen Mary is a survivor, a vessel that carried millions of souls and saw some of humanity's best and worst moments. Some visitors say they feel peace on her decks. Others feel watched, and a few leave knowing, absolutely knowing, that someone walked beside them. If you ever visit, breathe deeply before you step aboard. The Queen Mary listens, and sometimes she answers. Thanks for sailing through the shadows with me today, kindred spirits. Make sure to follow, leave a review, and check the Facebook page for episode extras. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and keep exploring the strange.